Yeah. So we also, I should have brought one to put on the table, but so a car like this. So this, Pete Chaporis. I don't know if anybody knows who Pete Chaporis is, but very famous guy in the hot rod business.
Yep.
Him and his buddy Jake started Pete and Jake's back in the '60s,
Hmm.
and they built cars like the California Kid that Martin
Yep.
Sheen drove in the movie The California Kid.
Yep.
And so Pete and Jake's went on forever, and then they ended up moving on selling, and Pete with Alex Exidius, who just turned 98 last month.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Alex Exidius is the original owner of SoCal Speed Shop. So he
Really?
started in 1946.
Wow.
Yeah, he started a speed shop, and he has land speed records and stuff like that. So guys that if you look up Alex Exidius and SoCal Speed Shop, there's a lot of cool stuff. He's got tons of really neat stories to tell, and so
He's a legend.
a legend for sure. He's one of the SEMA Hall of Famers. He worked at Peterson Museum for many, many years. Well, Pete Chaporis ended up going and reopening SoCal Speed Shop
Yep.
in the 2000s or something, early 2000s,
Hmm.
and then they started building cars like this. So 32 Highboy, and so this one was built. This one was built in '03. Yeah, and they're just beautiful cars, right? I mean, just
That is a
the workmanship
beautiful
the
car.
workmanship that goes into these things are pretty crazy.
Look at that interior.
Yeah. So there you go. And this one actually has a 5-speed in it, Tremec.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So most of
Would
these
never
cars were
guess
built
that.
with right. Most of these cars were built with an automatic,
Mm-hmm.
but this one was built with a 5-speed Tremec, which is really kind of cool.
Oh,
Well,
that's
like
gonna be fun.
yeah, and then these tires, we're running. It's a 135 on the front,
Yep.
and
Wow.
we're running these big dirt track tires on the rear, so you can see kind of the stance and everything. It's really, cool to see the difference,
That
you know.
is so cool.
But this is, again, also car we drive on the street and cruise, cruise anywhere. And Pete's driven. Him and his wife drove one of these all the way to Canada from L.A.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now we've got a top for it that
Yep.
we can
I was
put
just
on
gonna say, yeah.
if we want to. But imagine driving this thing at a couple thousand miles.
Honestly, if I was driving that thing, I don't think I would stop smiling because it's just like it. It just makes you smile. I couldn't imagine being in and driving it. It looks like a
Yeah,
fun car.
yeah, especially with the stick too. The
Yep.
manual transmission makes it really fun. I mean, it's kind of the you know kind
I
of the
love
thing.
I love how it still has the vintage. It has the drums in the front. It has a lot of originality to it.
Right. Yeah, you can see here. So just the workmanship and stuff that goes into a car like this, right? And you can
Wow.
just appreciate how just a beautiful car.
Tom, what kind of components do you have in it that you showed us? That you said the fan setups in there?
Right. So there's a electric fan, and then the other thing is I was going to tell you. I'm thinking. So Boyd Coddington built a car in oh gosh, I don't know what year. Probably in the '90s for a guy named Gary Lorenzini,
Yep.
and Pete was going to redo it, and we were going to bring it to the SEMA show. And so he wasn't going to. He did redo it, right? So he redid the whole entire car. It was a flame car, a Boyd car, typical kind of that, I think, '80s look.
Yep.
And so he had redone it, brought it up to this type of standard, and it was unbelievable. So he came. He says, "Hey, look, can you build us?" It had a manual transmission as well. Can
Yep.
you build us a cooler for the engine? And we came up with a scoop cooler,
Yep.
and so if you look up a scoop cooler in our line on our website, it's really cool, but it runs along the frame, and the aluminum shrouding actually runs the same vertical, with the cooler. So
Okay.
so it's not this cooler in particular, but
Yep.
there's a shroud the back side looks like this. It goes against the frame rail. The front side, instead of having fans, it's got an aluminum shroud that comes out. I don't know if you can see. It comes, comes out, and it scoops the air through and then out of the cooler down the frame rail.
Wow, so it just flies like right through it.
Yeah, and we found a lot of guys love those for the like razors and side by sides too, because they can mount on a roll cage. Yeah, so here's a picture of one. We pulled it up.
Oh,
So
very cool.
Yeah, so get the reflections out, but yeah, you can kind of see that, that thing mounts on the frame rail, and then you've got that scoop. Well,
Right.
these cars on their frame, you can put one on there, and we actually mount it with a aluminum tube chassis clamp.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's got an aluminum tube chassis clamp, and then it mounts to the side of that frame rail cooler.
And that scoop acts just like an air tunnel, just like.
Oh yeah, yeah, just like a tunnel ram would have a scoop, right,
Yeah.
on your carburetors. So it's it's really kind of cool, and like I said, just stuff like that we built for a purpose, but we put it in the line, and we found that holy moly, look how well it's done,
Right.
So we're trying to solve problems as well, and because we use the product, right, we use it. Like tomorrow, we're taking the Jeeps out, and we'll go up into the high desert, Johnson Valley, and then we'll take the Jeeps and we'll go up to Big Bear, which you go up all dirt. You take the dirt all the way up to Big Bear, and it's just a couple hours worth of crawling and stuff and cruising up. But we use the product, so we know that it works, right?
And in that type of heat too, you gotta have a great cooling setup.
Right. So this is one of the off-road cars. You can see my brother has raced Baja, the 500 and the 1,000 for 25, 30 years. This is a Class 10 car, but he's won Baja in his class twice with a Class 5 Unlimited, and that's what he's gone back to, is a 5 Unlimited car. But we run the products on the race cars. Everything from the filter mounts to see if they're going to, make it through, that kind of abuse, right?
Yep.
So if the product can make it through abuse 1,000 miles in Baja, they're not going to have any problem on a car like this, right?
Absolutely. That like puts things into perspective for us, the consumer, that, most of us, I think, do, just regular driving, what they call it, spirited driving. Some people might hit the drag strip here and there, but it's not going to compare to the heat that's out there in that, that type of driving. So
right. But you'd be surprised, people don't think of heat, right? But track is unbelievable, and that's why we have so many coolers on this car. But I mean, the track generates so much heat. It's unbelievable, And power steering, people don't think of power steering, right, until it's overboiling. So we have power steering on Jeeps overboiling. We have track cars. Obviously, all the what am I thinking? Oh shoot, drawing a blank. Sorry. But yeah, all the everything that we do, we don't think of the cooling that you need. Fuel cooling, if we can get that cold, right, and going into the engine performs better, right?
100%.
So a lot of times the lines are running past exhaust, they're getting hot, and people don't even know it.
Yeah, so, I love the fact that you guys have a really great power steering cooler. Like you said, a lot of people don't think about it, but when say you're driving at a track or any type of driving, you're constantly turning it. So there's a lot of heat there that a lot of people don't think about. They think common sense, like coolant and heat in the, they think that first.
This was so interesting. This is the inspiration here of this car, the Cyclone. So that's in 66, 67. Bud Moore was racing a Cyclone. And so when we did the color scheme, paint scheme, and everything, we used Bud Moore's cars, and even some other, Rutherford and some of the other guys ran Cyclones for a few years, but the color scheme was exactly the way this is. I mean, they weren't the same colors, So this is a Wimbledon white, and then this gold is a metal flake gold.
I love that gold.
Yeah, it's beautiful gold, and like you said, it doesn't do it justice on the camera, but a lot of them were using blues and oranges and things like that back in the day. But that's the inspiration of why we why we did what we did.
Hey, Tom, a question from one of, do your power steering coolers offer AN fittings?
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. All,
Awesome.
most, we do have some coolers that are only push on, but those are going to be your tube and fins and some of the coolers. But everything, even tube and fins, come with AN fittings. Our plate and fins, AN fittings. The stack plates, AN fittings, and then we have the race series coolers that are obviously AN fitting. Those are the big boys. So one of the other things we can talk about, I know we put on the list of things to discuss, but
Yep.
this is a fun one. Let's go in here.
What do you got?
Guys
Oh,
getting
yes.
thirsty? So basically, we'll pull one out. I'll put it on the table over here, and we'll kind of
Guys,
give
you're going to love this.
So a little rundown. But basically for SEMA, we do a kickoff party on Monday nights. And so we brew our own beer. One of our guys, Mike, he is a home brewer, and he's been brewing his own beer for years, and he's really got a pretty elaborate setup, and he bottles it and everything in-house.
Wow.
And we make our graphics department makes the labels. But so we kind of take a spin on the name, and it's instead of Derale, which is the name, right? We do Derale. So you can kind of see the Derale Brewery, right? And so this one here is a nut brown, and it's 3 sheets to the wind, basically, right, with an electric fan. And it's blowing the beer. So this nut brown ale, and this was a SEMA for last year, 2019.
Yep.
But, so we kind of have, all our reps and customers kind of expect it. They come and look in. So we have about 75 people, 100 people in the booth on Monday night before the SEMA show kicks off. And we usually brew, I think he brews like 25 gallons of beer.
Wow.
Yeah. And not all of it gets bottled. We do it. So if we look here, I'll read it, but I'll try to show you too. So it says, caution, contents in bottle has been known to cause good times followed by deep regrets. Calories.
Awesome. I thought you were read me something serious. I'm like, oh.
Calories, who cares? ABV percentage, a lot. And then we say, warning, the East LA water used to brew this beer may contain moss, fish guts, or hypodermic needle traces. Used to be okay though. Bottoms up.
Oh my God!
And then we do
born in East LA.
Born in East LA, brewed in Box Spring Mountains of Mo Valley.
Oh my God!
Because he lives in Moreno Valley. So, like I said, we have a good time. We do. When the car was built, we did a Cyclone Saison.
Yeah.
Which so we brewed a Saison that year and called it the Cyclone Saison with a picture. We do all different types. We've done chocolates and all different types of beers, and we have a good time doing it. So like I said, it's fun, and it's one of the kind of the fun parts of being in business, right?
I think that is amazing. I know we're gonna have some questions about the beer, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey Tom, I wanted to, because we have an hour total, and we have about 5 minutes left. And what Instagram does, it kind of times out and it starts another hour.
Sure.
But I think we covered a lot. But I wanted to, before we closed out, I wanted to mention the promotion that you guys have right now.
Sure. Oh yeah, good point.
Yep. Because there are some people that are going to probably go right to the website and start looking.
Yeah.
And I know you guys have the big rebate, and I just wanted you, if you could explain that to everybody.
Yeah. So it's a national rebate. You can buy from anybody, your favorite Summit Racing or Jags or anywhere that you love buying from, the local speed shop. And that's why we do it that way. It's $10 on every $100 you spend.
Every
$100 you spend up to you can get up to $1,000. We can get a $100 rebate. Real simple. You go get the thing online from our site, and you fill it out, mail it in. They'll send you a check. That's simple.
Awesome.
So in this times right now, we just wanted to do something. It expires March 15th, so it's April 15th through March 15th. March 15th through April 15th. Or was it
April through
April
May.
through May.
Yep.
Sorry.
One of those M
I haven't had the beer yet, but I need to. So we're going to do, April 15th through May 15th. And like I said, real easy to get it. Just
Awesome.
simple fill out, send it in, send a check.
Man, I can't tell you how excited I am about all the parts that we were able to show everybody. And I know there's a lot of guys on here that are very, very interested. And then you'll be able to still see all of the questions afterwards, and maybe if you want to reach out to them and things like that too, because I'm sure there's people that want to.
Yeah, so before we lose you, but our tech department is really good. They know their stuff. And we want them to call, right? We want them to talk to our guys because they're going to help them direct them into the right position, right? Get them the right product. We don't want you to buy the wrong product. So they can call 800-421-6288, or if they prefer, it's midnight, just email us. They can go on the website. There's a tech contact, and you just put in whatever you need, and they get back to you the very next day. We log all our calls, so if you need to call 2 or 3 times, they can go back to the conversation, know exactly what another tech guy talked about, so don't have to worry about that. And they're there to help you find the right product, or install. If you're standing in front of it and you're like, I'm confused, during business hours, call them and they'll walk you through it.
Yep. And guys, I will vouch for this because I have the setup in my vehicle. The support, it's there for you guys. It's awesome, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted you guys to see this product in your face.
Yeah, and there's lots more products. Obviously, we can cover products all day long, but again, we try to build quality into every product, no matter what the product is. And that rebate is every product in the line. It's not just fans or coolers, or it's the whole line.
Everything. Awesome. Well, before we get the chop suey, I do want to say thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
All the info and your company and the history, and for you taking your time, and your coworker there too. Thank you so much, and I really hope you guys stay safe. And I would love to in the near future do it again and just talk more.
Yeah, for sure. We can do this anytime, and like I said, love to see everybody. Hopefully we'll be back at car shows, back at events, and back at racing, and everything comes back soon. So we'll be there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom. God bless, and be safe. And
thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Take care, guys. Good night.
Bye, guys.